learning to love, I guess, would be, and I don't take offense to this, but you have a little bit of your mother in you.
And you have like all of your father in you.
And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you are asking questions during movies that you kind of get really mad about your mom doing. I will always be patient with you, but I will also always poke fun at you.
I know. I'm learning to bond with you over your love of grass.
I hate grass. No,
I took a picture of him and he was just like looking off the deck, just looking at the grass.
Let's see if it's coming in good.
Like this morning when we're leaving, he's like, "Do you see the mulch I laid?" I grew up in Kennard, Nebraska, actually, which is like a town of like 300 people. And so we went to Blair for school, for high school. We went elementary, middle, high school, all throughout. And I grew up with my mom and my dad, and then my older brother and a twin brother. We were very, very close. We still are really close. He lives like 5 minutes from us. But after high school, I went right into nursing school at Clarkson, and now I work on the heart and vascular unit at the Med Center. We always saw them showing like affection toward each other, and they weren't afraid to like kiss in front of us, and which I always thought was a big deal, because that's something I wanted, and I didn't have to ever question like if they really loved each other, because they did so good showing it to each other and then to us. They had always put us first. So that's kind of what I look forward to, and when Dane and I decided to start a family. So.
I was born in Omaha, Nebraska. Was raised in Blair, Nebraska. My parents went to Dana College, so that's why we stayed there. Graduated there in 2014. Then I went to Northwest Missouri State for college. Played baseball there and studied middle school education. Ended up getting a middle school math job at Fremont, so I teach 8th grade math now. They were very supporting. They always wanted to take accountability and be respectful. I think that's one of the big things that I've really learned from them is responsibility. I was really big on like starting something, you're gonna finish it, never quitting, something like that. So definitely instilled my work ethic of working hard. I take a lot of pride in that. I like to be the person who shows up early and stays late, and it's to a fault at times. Bailey doesn't like that sometimes especially at working, but I like to be prepared, and that's definitely something I learned from them, the support and the love that they gave me throughout my life. So.
The first time I remember meeting him was he was at my house with Brody playing video games downstairs.
My best man, Brody, is my best friend, who is also her twin brother. We were playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is a weird thing to talk about in a wedding video, but we were.
All the time. All they did was play zombies. I had remembered that they talked to each other, like if he wasn't on my house.
And we used to be mic'd up together so we could talk, because we're nerds. I mean, you have to talk to somebody when you're playing so many miles away in different basements. But so we were talking, and Bailey was down in the basement, I think.
So I had said something, I can't even remember what I said, but I'd said something like insulting to Dane about his video game playing. And then like, I wanted a reason to text him.
You just texted me and said, "Hey, sorry for saying that," which was...
I actually kind of think I hurt your feelings a little bit.
Probably.
And like started up a conversation, and kind of the rest is history.
And we've only just begun. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come.
When Neither of us could drive yet. I was kind of illegally driving into town. But so we would just go on walks, and we would just walk around Blair, and like we would go to the park and
Swinging on the swings at North School, that's where I went to school.
And then we finally went on our first date. We don't really see eye to eye on our first date.
No, I mean, I'm pretty confident that we went to Red Robin.
I think we went to a movie, but I can't remember what movie it is, so I don't have a whole lot to back up my story.
What movie?
I don't know.
Exactly. You have no clue.
But I think we did, because you love movies.
Well, yeah, but I also love food. I don't know why we went there. Apparently, it's the highest that my cuisine went, but I'm pretty confident it was Red Robin.
I think we went to a movie.
It's like running through an open door. It's like finding what you're looking for. We got a beautiful story.
First kiss was probably in my parents' basement again.
We keep going back to his basement, I feel like. Sorry, Steve and Deanna.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
We were both kind of really nervous, and he was pitting out like he always does. And I was trying to get close, but not too close.
I was probably nervous. You're cute.
Sweating.
Yeah, probably.
I'm good. I think when it happened, I made the first move.
Easily. Probably. I doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that you're probably the one that initiated it.
And we've only just begun. The best is yet to come.
So we were in high school, and we had just gotten into a fight, and I was driving home and crying, and I had prayed. I was just like, I just want a sign that this is right. We're supposed to be together. And the song "My Best Friend" by Tim McGraw came on the radio right when I got done praying. So right then it was like, okay, this is it. He's the one. That's how I knew.
I just couldn't ever see myself with anybody else. I know that's cheesy and classic movie thing, but that's what it was. I kind of always knew, but it kind of really solidified like when we went to college. Generally, people, they go to either the same school, like when they're high school sweethearts, or they don't work out. I ended up going to a school that was 2.5 hours away, and Bailey would love to come there, and I wanted her to come there, but she wanted to be a nurse. And in college, that separation, I think we were able to be apart and be our own people. And being high school sweethearts, I feel like sometimes you don't get that. It honestly made us stronger. And I think that if we could make 2.5 hours work for 5 years, and then 2 grandparents' deaths and family things, like I said, I couldn't see it not working. So.
The best is yet to come.
We had been talking about marriage, and because we'd been together a long time.
We had talked about it. I was kind of pushing it a little bit more.
And so my whole plan was that I was going to propose on Christmas Day at her granny's house. Every year we go there, Christmas Day. It's a big deal for Bailey. Bailey's really big on family.
Ever since we were together and he came to Christmases at my granny's house, we always made a joke. We have all the stockings lined up with everybody's name on it on her fireplace. Every year he'd say, I don't see my stocking up there yet. And Granny would say, oh, I don't see a ring on her finger yet.
Ended up being that her granny was diagnosed with cancer and unfortunately progressed very fast and ended up passing away. So kind of messed my timeline up a little bit, but I knew I still wanted to do it there because I knew it would be important to her. And it ended up being that Mike was actually able to tell Marlene before she passed away that I had bought a ring and that I planned on proposing at her house on Christmas Day. And
he didn't get to tell her, but before she passed, my dad got to tell her. So I was happy she knew.
We had Christmas at my house that morning, then we went to her parents' house, and then from there, her older brother Blake brought the ring, put it in like my duffel bag for me to take. Then we went out to North Bend, and my parents wanted to be there too, so then I had to juggle getting them there. Luckily Mike knew because he helped out a lot, and if you know the Wakefields, they are just never on time to anything.
He was really nervous.
Yeah, there was a lot of moving parts, and like you guys are never on time. And so it's trying to like herd cats, trying to get them places at the right time.
So then we drove over to my granny's house.
So we got there, we got in front of the fireplace, all the stockings that her granny made for all the family that I was not a part of yet, and so I didn't have one. And that was my big joke with her. But your dad gave you a present.
And he handed one to me, and one to Blake, and one to Brody. and said that these presents were from Granny. She wanted us to have them. So he said, Bailey, I want you to go first. I started opening mine, and when I got it open, I knew it was a stocking with Dane's name on it.
Bailey opened it, and I think right then, I think you knew.
I did, yeah.
So I got down on a knee.
My mom didn't though.
Oh gosh, no. That's a funny picture.
My mom had no idea what was going on. So she was like all up in our business, like trying to see what the present was, and like
I'm down on one knee, and we have a picture of Susan just like standing over here like she's in La La Land. And it ended up being a really cool story and a really cool moment that we were able to share with her family and my family, so. I think she knows the word I'm going to use.
So I chose the word selfless. Did I spell it right? It's something that just I think of all the time when I think of Dane. You could call him up at 2 a.m. in the morning and ask him, tell him you needed him to drive 8 hours to come pick you up, and he'd be there in exactly 8 hours. So I mean, he just does anything and everything for anybody, and it's really all I could ask for. So stubborn, and I know that seems really bad. But it's really not. She is obviously stubborn in her ways, to the stubborn point that she cares about you. She'll never give up on you or anybody. She's a caring person. She's nurturing. It's the most beautiful thing when she cares for me and she cares for others. Like how I saw her care for her grandma when she was battling cancer, and she cared for my grandpa before he passed away. Just stuff like that. And she's passionate about what she does. She's set in her ways. She knows what she wants, and she's gonna go get it. It's how I think of Bailey, and it's how I want to, and it's what I love about her. Cool. We're not using cool. Laid back.
That's worse than cool.
So we chose trustworthy because we feel like we're pretty, we've got a lot of trust in each other, and people, we hope, have a lot of trust in us, and that we are always there for people and for each other.
Because they can trust in us, and they kind of see what we have. It comes in pretty naturally for us.
So we're married, finally. It only took 8 years. I love you so much, and I can't wait to start this journey, or continue this journey that we've been on forever, and start a family and just see where life takes us.
Bailey, I know it's been a long and amazing journey, and I'm glad that we have this next step that we are going on, and I cannot wait for the rest of our lives together. But right now, let's celebrate with the family and the people that are here. Let's enjoy some drinks that our parents paid for, like always.
Silent prayers, open sky. Together we go. Wild frontier, morning light, and all of a brand new start came in perfect time and measure. Glory, we bask in the sun. How you've put your arms around me. I've been waiting my whole life for this. The weight of 1,000 songs in ways time has only just begun here. Her gathered in the sun, let them wrap their arms around you. I've been waiting my whole life. I've been waiting my whole life for this.
I, Dane, take you, Bailey, to be my wife.
I, Bailey, take you, Dane,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
I promise to be faithful to you,
in good times and in bad,
in sickness and in health,
to love you and to honor you,
all the days of my life.
all the days of my life.